right. So, I'll be the first to admit to you all that I know normally you need more time to go through most of those documents yourself. I would expect you to do that as a team during the week. Go through, remember again, this is not an IT audit program. I intentionally sneaked in the testing side of audit. So I wore my hat of auditor these last 2 days. It's a heavy hat, to be honest with you. It's one of those fields that's it's a heavy hat. So, but at least for you, I wanted to make sure you can also apply for an IT audit job because of the way the market has been. So we just have to be strategic, right? So that's why I'm forcing you, I built all those document testing over, probably within the last 2 days just to kind of streamline as much as we can and make you comfortable to know that's what an auditor does. They test. You get evidences, screenshot, walkthrough, test of design, test operating effectiveness. That's your life. But that's what audit does really. So if you don't mind, let's start presenting. Let's have I'll be strict with time, just 1 minute each group, straight to the point. Let's start with Ed. Let's go so that we can jump on the class for today. Go ahead, Ed.
Hi everyone.
This is Red
This
Team, right? You guys were awesome,
Yes.
man. I saw your presentation. I mean, I was looking at it. I said, please go ahead. Yeah.
This is Edwidge from the Red Team. So the assess. Let me. Are you guys seeing my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So the assessment review a representative sample of 30 new user accounts with detailed testing performed on 5 randomly selected accounts. So while the majority of the account demonstrate proper control, the identify exception indicate a potential gap in a user provisioning process that require immediate attention to maintain security, integrity, and regulatory compliance. So this is how I resolve it. We got
Yeah.
20% exception rate. So if I go a little bit down before I can go up, I would say there was an exception. The exception came from the user 018. That was on January the 18th, 2025, because there was an account that was created without the HR approval, and that was
Mhm.
the risk level was medium. So that means we can contain that. Uh, and the impact was that it was an unauthorized access to the healthcare system and on the patient data. So, so our
Can we see the conclusion? If you don't mind, let's go down.
sure.
Let me see your conclusion towards the end.
So,
Okay.
yeah, the conclusion, we're going to say the identify exception involving user ID user 0118 demonstrate that account that account can be created with manager approval alone, bypassing the critical HR validation step that ensure proper employment verification authorization. So management should prioritize implementing additional control to ensure HR approval is mandatory before account creation.
Hmm.
Establish automated validation checks within provisioning system and conduct expanded testing to determine if the issue affects additional account.
Got
So
it.
yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Now, one thing I'll call out,
Mhm.
Ed, is I personally love the fact that man, you have no idea. For my auditors on the call, maybe you would appreciate it. In our old world, right? Coming up with reporting language and documentation is one of the hardest things we do as auditors because you can have the finding, but how do you put it in simple business language has been a struggle. And but this is crazy because you have no idea how this is amazing, really, because what you're doing now is we can explain it to anybody. Any dummy would understand it. Even if you feel it's too, which I think is easy to learn, if you even feel it's too hard for a dummy to understand, just say, okay, put this finding in sixth grade language. It will still make it simple for them to understand, which is just, that was the biggest struggle of IT auditors in the past, really. And I struggle with that too, exact high level format. Sometimes you want to, yeah, technical person, but how do you put all those language for your senior executive to understand it. You and I know what you mean, the risk, but how do you put it in simple language, which is just breathtaking? Yeah, this is good stuff. Okay, thank you, Ed. Awesome job. Thank you very much, man.
Thank
Very
you.
well done. And you were comfortable, you were relaxing. And I
I was
just got to
shaking.
know that you didn't have time to present for it, prepare for it.
Yeah.
Okay, good job. All right,
Thank
let's
you.
take Alfred. Go ahead, Alfred.
Oof.
Okay, Alfred is on another level. I can see they're using Gamma. You guys are not playing. You are not
Yeah,
playing, brother.
we try to be a little bit fancy here.
I love it, bro.
So we use Gamma to generate our report. And here's our executive summary. Our scope is 30 new users with five selected for detailed testing. Our key findings were 20% exception rate identified in user provisioning process. A critical issue was that an account created without required HR validation step. Go down to the testing methodology. So testing methodology that we came up with four different testing methodologies. One is population identification, which identify and document all 30 new users created in Active Directory during the audit period through system reports and administrative logs. Statistical sampling, of course, out of 35, we selected five users from the population of 30, ensuring unbiased representation for detailed testing procedures. Control testing, examine each selected account for evidence of HR validation, proper documentation, and enhance and adherence to established provisioning procedures. Exception analysis, documented findings, analyze root causes, and assess impact of identified control deficiencies on overall access management. And here's a little graph to show the detail of our testing. The green represent the 20% exception rate, and the black is the 80% uh, of users with no exception. Our exception analysis, of course, findings, user account created without validation. Here's a control deficiency identified. The finding is user account created without HR validation. Impact, what's the impact? Unauthorized access potential and compliance violation. The risk level, very high. Bypass, states of bypass critical approval control. Root cause analysis, of course, the exception occurred when the standard HR approval workflow was circumvented during account creation. This suggests either a process breakdown or insufficient system controls to enforce the validation requirement. Our risk assessment and impact. So critical, 20% of the 20% exception rate exceeds acceptable risk threshold and requires immediate management attention and corrective action. So this is our immediate risk, long-term implications. And so in conclusion and recommendation, immediate action required, implement system controls to prevent account creation without HR validation, review and remediate the non-compliant accounts immediately. Process enhancements, strengthen the user provisioning workflow with mandatory HR approval checkpoints and automated validation controls, ongoing monitoring, establish regular monitoring and testing procedures to ensure continued compliance with HR validation requirements. So while 80% of the test account demonstrated improper controls, identified exceptions represent a significant control gap requiring immediate attention to maintain effective access management and regulatory compliance.
Thank you very much, brother. You're awesome, man. That was great. Now, one thing I love a lot about what Alfred did here was, can you go back to that root cause analysis? I thought that was brilliant, really. If you look, if you pause there, no,
Sure,
I
here.
think a little bit down, please. There was one I saw, root cause analysis. Yes, I love that a lot, really, because what you did for us there is you went deeper. You're telling us that it's potentially, the workflow might have been circumvented during account creation. And you even said, okay, this suggests either a process breakdown, that's possible, or insufficient system control to enforce validation of the requirement. So you took it a step deeper that, okay, I'm not just saying there's an issue, you're even giving us the potential root cause, which I think is just mind blowing for most leadership would love that because now you've told them, okay, this is a potential root cause. Go figure it out. Now, you notice for my change management folks, you notice we had quite a number of emergency change in that sample. I intentionally kept it so that we see those real life scenarios. But thank you, brother Fresh. Awesome. Thank you, sir.